We are now live here again. Wow, here again now in the last 7 days.
Yeah.
We hadn't been here for quite some time. Now we've come back to this project.
I believe it was October, so it's about 6 months, give or take.
6 months.
Less.
Yeah. Pretty good. Pretty good break.
Yeah, well, we were pretty busy. We were opening the school and whatnot. So.
Yeah, it gets. All right, so I need to get the bot up and running. So it should start here momentarily. Well, so it's been a while since we've come onto this project. I kind of remember that the last bit that we were working on was resources related, to be able to store information about the given data that we wanted for the project, right?
Okay. Yeah, I do kind of remember. Right. Okay, so we were dealing with where to store all that and how that's going to work. How far did we get with that though? I don't really remember.
Well, I remember that we had a couple of CSV files that we've created for this specifically. Let's go through the game here real quick because we actually. So I started a new one named John. It's like, let's say yes. How about yes? There we go. So we get our information there. We've got our name, tokens, running diggers, broken diggers, I guess diggers that are full. So we actually need to begin this. We actually go to the store. We need to buy some diggers.
Right.
Let's see, we've got 20, 100, so we can get 5 digger. Now in the control rooms where we can throw our commands again. Equip.
Ah, yes.
Right, so we get
Boom, there it
chip
goes.
there. We get Alright, so now we've got our diggers up there and running. We got rich density, solid, scarce and soft. A bunch of scarce, oh my goodness.
Yeah, so they're all going to have to get scrapped when they're done. If we want to play the game.
Yeah, that's true. Well, so now we can empty, so we can empty Pete, empty Sam. Oh, we got an achievement, which we didn't actually reach 500 chips. We just set it to 50 so that the achievement would be done.
Right, we dialed it down. That's right.
Yeah. Otherwise, we would never
get the large hopper.
Yeah,
right,
we would never get it. We had to wait for 500. So that would always be tough. So we found how to cheat. So here's another piece, right? So we had the repair that came up. So we had Pete needs a repair, and Alice needs a repair. So I should see what we've got in the way of chips. I should empty Pete. I should empty Jim. Empty Allison. Empty Scott. So now I've got 115 chips. Now I can go back to the store and I can say sell. So you just do sell chips and it sells all of them. So now I can buy some bolts. Let's see. So then we go back to the control room. Once we're here, let's see. Empty Sam. So let's try doing a repair Pete. So we can cheat the game because it's part of the whole thing, right? So we can keep running repair. Oh. So we got 6 bolts, so this one we can say yes.
Get a better bid.
Yeah, right. That was a rich and solid. Allison scarce and solid. Seems like we should probably just so Allison needs repair, but that's scarce and solid.
Yeah, I would just scrap and get the bolts out.
Yeah, so we'll do that with scrap Allison.
That's a scrape.
Yeah, it's all the margaritas I've had here since between work and some of my typing is not going to be great. So rich and hard.
Yeah, you could do better.
I know. I want to see. So that's not what I want to do. I want to go to the store actually.
Oh, we had that bit in there too that we can.
Oh, that's
So
right.
we
So
can
now we get
dance.
the standard bit. That's right. That was a big piece of this. So that was part of the thing that we did, right? So that adding that to our database was the kind of the key here, right? So we instead of creating an actual database or using like a SQL database or anything like that, we're just using files for our data. It just makes it easier. Oh, here's another piece of random things that happen, right? Where we get the
Right.
a shipment of
So now
diggers
there's-
arrived.
Right, so it's restocked.
Yeah. So we actually had there's also there's the thing where you could win the lottery.
Yeah,
I didn't
it's
see
weird
that.
that that's not happening.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't see that pop up. Oh, there we go. Of course, just as we say it.
Right.
So
Yeah, and didn't we have like there was reports and stuff you could look at too? There was the lifetime stuff. You remember that was part of the stuff that we put into the file, so that had to do with like the data storage and things like that. Remember, because we
well,
were
that was for
actually
the
saving
save.
that state.
That was the save. I'm talking about the stuff to run the game. Because remember we had it. That was all like hard coded
Hmm.
into constructors.
Yeah,
Is it just? I think we just do like a report, right? So if we did a report on Pete, no.
I forget what the command is now. I might not even be in there yet.
Inspect.
Maybe it is inspect. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can see the hopper is a standard hopper. If we bought the large hopper, that would be a large.
Right.
So this was the other part. I think so. This was lifetime. Inspect Pete lifetime.
Yeah, because why not? We need to fix all those little things at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of slick, right? So now we've got detailed stats about the actual equipment. I think there was the other piece that we'd done some stuff so that it would make sure that the running portion would be consistent, because when you'd save and then start over, like everything would be on the exact same schedule. So now we got them where they're on their own schedule on
Right.
updates.
Hmm. So
Yeah, so now let's do a save. We'll say new game. Oh. Ah. Yes. All right. So we still don't exit well.
no. Somehow that got broken along the way.
So yeah, nothing's working for us. So that's fine. I mean, exit. We left. So it's funny because we left the exit left whatever room we were just in. I don't remember whether it was the store or the control room. It brought us back to the lobby, which Yeah, and then we can't leave from there. I'm not sure how that happened.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I had brought up the files from before. So we have game items. So these are things that we can add to the game um, as we want, right? And so you can see we have different types. So we have like game items, we have chip hopper upgrade item, we have bit upgrade item,
Hmm.
we have achievements that we've listed in here, right? So this is why this is it's at 50 instead of 500. It's at 100 instead of 1,000. Give us an opportunity to be able to actually get to those achievements to see if the items that we are looking for would happen. Um, we we kind of went with the idea that we would say that there's up to an option of 3 rewards at once. Um, I think right now
Right.
it only uses the first one. I don't think we even have anything that stores the second, like does anything with the second and third one.
Right.
Um,
Right. Yeah, I
and
remember
then
that now. Okay.
here we actually have what that reward type is. And so in this case, it's a new store item because I think that's the only reward type we have at the moment. But the goal was to potentially get to a point where we can say you're going to get something in your inventory as well. Like there might be something that would get dropped into your inventory versus just a um, something that would go into the store.
Right.
Yeah. So those are the 3 files that we have right now. We don't have any more at the moment. Um, I think I can look if we take a look at the history of the work that we did.
Right. Like in GitHub.
Yeah, I think that might be we could do it there too.
Yeah, so this is like a little demonstrative of how you get yourself going on a project again once you've set it down for a while. It's like we have to remember what we
It's,
were doing here.
yeah, it's funny that I don't see the. Hmm. Oh, let me just click on this one. Get there.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. So let's take a look at our commits. Here we go. It's been a while since I've used Git for it. So I merged this in. Oh yeah. So this is the last episode. So let's take a look at what what the code included
No,
here.
July was the last episode. That can't be.
No. Why was that the latest on the?
Are you looking at like the master or whatever? Like, do we have different branches at this point?
Well, no, because here's the last episode.
Yeah, so that's September. This October even. Yeah. Hmm.
But hold on a second. There was a pull request this morning that I actually merged in. That was still because this episode had been left um, open. This data gateway. Oh, it got merged into develop. That's why I was looking at the wrong one.
Yeah, so I was thinking maybe we're looking at master.
We were looking at master, but that's kind of the default one, right? So let's look at the commits on here.
So probably what, 14 months ago, 9 months ago.
4 months. 4,
4 months
6.
ago.
Because it was 10. It was October 9th.
Okay.
Um, let's see. So let's see what the files. Oh, 38 files changed. That was a lot. Why was that? Oh,
Hmm.
because we ended up doing something where we were starting to change stuff over to actually use our
Yeah, like IDs and things like that's why it's reward IDs instead of just
yeah.
like the name.
Yeah, because we wanted to kind of move the stuff out, right? So that's why we created this gateway. That's why we have this gateway now. So we use the data gateway uh, strategy for this, or pattern. Let's just see. We needed to have more IDs in here, so we did that. Let's see, inventory achievement setting. So this was some of our static data that we had in there that we removed. Um, it's now in those. It's in the resource files. Um,
What happened there? Oh, we took all that stuff out of there.
yeah, we went to the reward IDs. Some more static stuff, like you saw this in the. This was in the CSV file.
Yeah, those actual like object definitions that were hard coded in.
Mm-hmm. Another spot where we removed the actual reference to the item, um, and used the game item ID to do it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I think there's some of these spots that I'm still not totally certain that we needed to get rid of it the way that we did, but I think we did go through them. I kind of remember us going through them and picking them specifically, not just.
I kind
Um,
of do too. Yeah, it wasn't like let's just do them all. It was like let's do as little as possible, really. But I think we need to do all this if I remember
yeah,
right.
this is for. So we don't have anything yet that builds stores, right? Because that was part of what this is. We have happening here.
Okay.
We do need to be able to define what's in the store as part of our data set. We don't currently have. So this is adding the data gateway to our like main game object. Or more items.
Here's the IDs once more.
Yeah.
So we just changed the name of that one, huh?
Yeah, that's the one that's why I was like, that feels weird.
Yeah, why do we just do the like ID like that?
You know what? I think because this is a specific type of item, and so item is ID. I think that's why. And this is state, right? So this is actually coming from the save file, I believe. Because see, it's saying this
Okay.
is in that function from game
Mm-hmm.
state. So this was loading up from the saved file. So in the saved file, we still have item ID as the name of it. We may decide that we want to change that. Um, we'll have to see.
Yeah, well, we're just trying to get a feel. So really moving all all the creating this data structure that we're using for the resource files, and then having that gateway to be able to fish it out of there seems like where we were at, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Now, did we have it? I remember us talking about now that we're looking at it a little bit more. I kind of remember us talking about being able to change it like on the fly, which we can't do now, right? It just kind of loads it all up in the memory.
Yeah, yeah. I don't. I mean, it seems like it's going to be hard to change it on the fly, but
Yeah, yeah. I don't think it was like the feature we were talking about, but it was like I remember discussing if it would be something we could do. All right, so
yeah.
hmm. So I guess we need to decide what we even want to do next, huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, we do have to decide what we're going to do next. Um, these are some of the new repository items that we're just kind of updating it. This way, instead of passing. Oh, so that was where some of this came in, right? Because we wanted to have specific, like, repositories for, like, brands of stuff, versus, like, so here, right? So we're inside of the reward repository.
Hmm.
Like, do we really want to be newing up a game item as part of this? Um, if the reward repository was specific to the game item, like, so where the root was the the um, the reward and game items were always children of it, but it's not really, right? So the game item or the reward is a separate piece to the game item specifically. So the repository shouldn't necessarily be responsible for managing all that type of stuff.
Right. So that's why you're saying the idea is passed along.
Right, because then we can use the ID as our lookup between resources. Um, this is where we load up the files.
Hmm.
Yep. I feel like there was something that we were going to do that we did not. We have game items, achievements. I think it seems. Just seeing if there's anything we missed here. No, tests. We created some sample test files.
Hmm.
Oh man, I cannot stop you. I have been yawning all day. It's been ridiculous. Yeah, so now I feel like there was something that we were looking at as what was going to be next. Um, maybe this will actually help us, right? So we have so store items seem like they're kind of the next piece potentially.
We didn't really do anything with that, right? That's what we were just seeing as we were reviewing what was there.
Yeah, and there was because there was concern. I think so. If I remember, part of the issue we had was the game was the store and the way it saves its state was kind of the piece that made it difficult. Um, because we saved the store's state, that if we were to load from a file, it was going to blow it up. Like we'd have to change a lot. There wasn't like an easy upgrade path that we identified, anyways. So we could.
Okay. You look at it.
Yeah, like that. So. Yeah, I don't remember where it is.
Yeah, it's a pretty big project. Maybe in there.
So yeah, so here's part of what's happening, right? So we have this store state that
Right.
is part of this. So we could make it where we could replace this process. Um, the I think the concern that I have. So we have this store state, right? But then we have in our where is it? It's like persistent service. Here it is. So we have the state, but we do this thing where in our load, we basically just overwrite all the game state. So if we were to use a file, we couldn't add stuff to games that are already running. It would only be able to ever be new games that get the effect of the change.
Right. Which is a problem for the store because it changes during the game.
Because it
Is that the problem?
changes
No,
during the
no,
game.
it doesn't. Never mind. Okay, so go on.
But
It
the store
doesn't
does
really.
change during the game. That's the whole
But that,
point.
right. But that's okay in terms of the file. We only load it and save it at the beginning and end. So, okay, so where were you going with the rest of this now?
Well, so if we create a store data file, it won't necessarily be related to it would only be good for the if you're starting a new game. You would never be able to take a load a previous game and take advantage of any of the new stuff that you added to the data source, the initial data store, right? Because the save file would overwrite any changes that you may have added as like default items that should be in the store.
I see. Yes. Okay.
Um,
So it means we just have to have all of our items defined when the game starts, and then we turn them on, kind of as we go through, like how.
I don't know. That's why I'm bringing up what the
Yeah.
problem was, right? So we could do that. We could define all the items, and then have something that indicates in the maybe the store state is whether it's available or not. Um, but that we
Makes it very rigid though. Like you definitely can't use your old game saves. Like you won't be able to patch the game or anything.
yeah,
Like you were saying.
that's kind of where the I see the scope of the problem at the moment. Um, I mean, I guess the question is whether that's what we really want to be able to do. If that's a requirement during the building of this. I mean, maybe what we
Right.
need to look at anyways is trying to figure out if there's an alternative path for doing the saving and loading of the state of the game. Um, because it would be good to be able to patch it, like as you're saying, right? Because you might want to be able to say, hey, we've got version 0.4 out. Now we want to do something with that. So
Yeah, so you could add stuff to like a game client at some point.
yeah, so maybe we need to overcome that problem.
Yeah, I mean that's if we want to do it. Like if we think of it in terms of like the old school games where you just loaded it up, like you installed this version, and if you're playing this version, you'll be able to open your save games, and if you buy version 2, that's a whole different, or whatever, download version 2, it's new. It's a
Well,
different piece of software.
right, that's true. I mean, we definitely could approach it that way. Um,
We're just so used to playing stuff that gets patched now. It seems like, Why have an end?
Yeah, right? I mean, it's just a matter means that we just have to make sure that it really boils down to when we're doing it, what do we make? What is the default state of something, and when it gets added, um, like we would just need to come up with what that strategy would be. Is do we make it where it'll load the store from the file, then we uh, append it with data from the the um, the table, you know, because that that wouldn't be the worst. It would allow us to be able to add new stuff to the store and give it like a default, but then if it's already there, it won't change it.
Right. So it would have like a. We just need a more sophisticated way of like loading that up, so you just got the new stuff too.
Yeah. I think there might have been one other piece about this too that I'm trying to remember here. So we got the store inventory. Let me see this. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff about stores that we need to be able to implement, huh? It's not just
Yeah.
store items, right? Because we have items for sale, but then we have items it's buying.
Yeah, and there's like a price for it's paying for those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we were also like part of the thought with the in the grander scheme of things is there might be able to be more than one store. So you could have like temporary. Remember we were talking about like traders or different things like that that could come in with different types of things to
Mm-hmm.
sell for a period of turns or whatever, a period of time.
Right. Hmm. I mean, yeah, but that would be, yeah. I think that's kind of outside of what we're trying to do. So I think we can. Not that
It's a
we.
little
I don't think it
it's
has
higher
anything to
level
do with this.
than like it's farther above what we're trying to do here with the individual items and whatnot, but just
Right.
something we talked about. But yeah. Hmm.
I think this was the other part that was we were unsure about because these um, these are game item. Hold on a second. Let me see something. Yeah. So that's. Yeah, so we would have to do something with the. So the store item would have to have um, price and account, and then we can give it a game item ID, and it can load that. And then the game item we have in here as an item type, so it can construct it. So I think we're okay. I think that's part of what we're going to have to change is that in the I think we're gonna have to change how we save state, and I think we're gonna have to change how we deal with this, right? So like right now, we actually have the item associated with the uh, the item that's in the store, and we're saving the state that way. So maybe what we do is we break that part, um, and we take the state and we load the ID from it. We have the item ID here. So I think what I'm kind of thinking of is eliminating the game item from the saved file.
As the like it not being the object there, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
So right now, one of the things I should probably open up is one of the save files, right? So let's open up one of those, and um, here's my greatly spelled name. Oh, it's not formatted. Nope. So right now in the store, so this is our store, right? So we have these items for sale. We have this whole game item state information, right? So we're storing all the information about these items as part of the save file. I'm I'm thinking we eliminate that. And all we have in here is the game item ID as part of this.
And then we look it up from the resource.
And we look it up from the resources.
Yeah, that seems like a good first step. And it's in line with everything else we're doing.
I think that will, I mean, we might even be able to make this backwards compatible, but I think that's a question. Do we want to make this backwards compatible with the this current format, or do we want to eliminate this and start from scratch?
I think we can start from scratch, right?
I'm totally down with it. I was just curious
Yeah.
of like whether we wanted to try to make this so it can handle this one and where it's just the item ID on here.
No, I think we can. I think we can change it now
Okay.
and move forward. It's not like we have an installed base that we have to consider at this stage.
Well, we have everybody using it.
Yeah, right.
I'll tell you, that's one of those problems that, you know, um, not enough developers think about that issue. Um, how that code is going to, how the changes that you're making are going to affect the next time somebody actually runs it.
Yeah, right. The next time the current user runs it. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
like, yeah, because you can fix it. Yeah, and make this change. It'll be fine. Look, the program runs perfectly fine. But you put it in the user's hand. Now they're going to be dealing with existing data. They're going to be existing with existing processes.
Hmm.
Music got a little crazy loud there. All right, so let me close all these files. Where's our persistence? Here's our game persistence service. So what we're trying to do is actually eliminate this, right? So let's do this. We'll just comment that out and see what breaks.
Right. Right.
Not very much red.
No, not really.
All right, let's see what we're. Yeah, see, this is getting it from state and setting it from state. I think we can even eliminate this. We don't even need these anymore.
Yeah, you can probably delete both of those altogether. Is that?
I think so, right? What?
I mean, I don't know. We might want to keep what's in them so we have it to reference to, but because what is calling those? Like,
Well, this is during the save and load process. So, like this here is trying to get the state on this, right?
mm-hmm.
And it shouldn't have to. Because excuse me. Yeah, this shouldn't need it. That was on the base item. And this shouldn't be needing it.
Right. Okay, because yeah, it's just inheriting it.
Yeah, these are just like these are helpers to deal with this metadata because we had those different types and we had this different data, so there was like overridden types. So we were trying to capture that stuff. So that's where a lot of this stuff ended up coming from. Right, so those we should be able to remove. Um, let's see how many more. Oh, it's getting less. We're going to start to get to the stuff that we actually need to do. So this is getting that type again. So this is an actual bit upgrade item, so we don't need that one. All right, so this now we do need to do something about, right? So, this is actually going to change, right? Because this is taking the game item and using the builder to get it. We may not even need. Ooh, we found another spot that we're doing it, right? So the stuff the miner has, we're also doing the game item state on it, right?
So the inventory, all this stuff.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, because what this really needs to be is instead of that, we're going to have an item ID, and we're going to take that as the.
Right.
Right. So then we shouldn't need this.
Yeah, because that ID kind of replaces that.
Yep. Unless we, well, I mean, as far as this goes, we could actually keep the item.
Maybe pass that build an ID.
Well, this, I wonder if we can do game.
So, oh,
No.
just gateway. Huh.
Wait a second. What is this?
Yeah, right.
Oh, it's a repository, right? But see, we only have a get all on there right now.
Okay.
We could do that and then just do a first off of it.
Yeah, right. And then pass the ID.
Yeah. So.
Something like that. What's up with that?
It
It's
doesn't
just
exist
ID,
yet.
maybe? Ah, yeah, well, that'll
Doesn't
do
exist, yeah.
it.
Because this here is this inventory item state.
Mm.
Come on. All right. Let's see how much more stuff we got breaking.
Yeah, well, that might do a few in and of itself.
Yeah. Right. Well, so this one's still here. Let's. So this is a similar issue, right? So what we actually want is in this here, which is a store item state. We actually want this to have the game item ID instead, right? So we're gonna put this item ID, put that in there, get rid of all that noise, and then shoot. So instead of this, oh wait a minute, oh yeah, this is okay. So we still want this to be an item, but we want to take it now where we get it from.
Yeah, we're going to get it off the gateway now, right?
Yeah. Whoop. All right. And I do want to make it clear that I realize that by doing this get all and doing this query against it, we are potentially opening ourselves up to having to load that file over and over again. I picture us doing something in this gateway that allows us to cache these. So we're only going to be loading it once, caching it as part of the results of the repository, and then doing these queries against it. So it's not,
Right.
it won't be as bad.
So as long as we don't do a sloppy job in the actual gateway, we'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, we'll be able to override the current behavior of the gateway. So we'll leave it like this. It'll load the file every single time, but I believe it should not make a difference for us in the long run if we can set up an abstraction over top of how that repository works to get. So we can do the caching at that point. So instead of trying to deal with it in some other boisterous way.
All right.
Yeah, see, so this is going to be another spot, right? So now we're actually going to have the item ID, and then we can just get the ID. All right, so that should fix that.
Is that a pull? Okay. Pull that out.
Then this has 0 references, so we can now get rid of this one.
Right, because we took it off of everything. We don't use the builder anymore.
Nope. All right,
Almost,
here's another
yeah.
spot where we got to set up the item ID, right? So that's good. And we should have one more spot. Oh, I thought there was one more.
Maybe that took care of it. That change might have hit them both.
Yeah, maybe. Because we're getting it from the game items. Would be interesting to see. Is this I don't know what that means.
Is that just a warning?
It is just a warning, but it says N-Crunch instrumentation mode is not set to optimized. Optimist? Feels like it should be a Z. I'm sure it's not. I'm sure they spelled this right, but it says optimized. But with the S there, it feels like optimist. Optimized. I guess that's what it is, so it's optimized. Okay. Now I got it. It feels good for me. There's actually a new version of this I haven't installed on here. So we'll see about that. But I have not. I was trying to see. Oh, because here's the ones, right? So this actually has all the ones that are running, right? So all our tests are still passing. So that's kind of nice about N-Crunch, right? It gives us the confidence that it's always working because it hasn't passed. But we did nothing about saving. So these tests are passing, but the stuff that we've changed is not covered by any tests. That's the beauty of this little white dot that lets us know.
I saw that.
Yeah, at first when I saw it, I thought maybe it wasn't running, but then I saw green ones, and I'm like, oh, shoot. So it is working.
Yeah, because we don't have any of that. Do we have that data? We don't have it in the files yet, right? For it to actually go and do the lookup, do we?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
we do.
yeah.
Okay, so it would work. Okay.
Yeah, but these tests here are about the saving and loading.
Right, of a new game or
Yeah, we have
game.
no tests around that. That's what I was getting at. That we don't have any tests on that portion. Probably should delete these because those are no good anymore. But we should check to see if the save is working properly and see if we can get it to load up properly, right? Because what we've done, we're just going to have to manually test, which means we'll probably mess it up. All right, so we'll go to the store. We'll buy our diggers. We'll buy the 5 diggers. We'll go to the control room. We'll,
Did you get them?
we'll equip. Oh, like I'm in a file.
CD store.
Oh, this is why we.
Yeah. Well, this is the little stuff we have to iron out.
Yeah, we actually have some stuff in there so we can do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we put in there like what the singular and plural names, the texts are. So we just have to be able to do something with it. So now we do the equip. We'll equip a Pete. We'll equip an Allison. We'll equip a Kevin. We'll equip Jim. We'll equip a Sam. It's just nice and short.
So what did we get? Scarce, normal, 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 scarce.
Oh, great. So we're going to get plenty of stuff.
It's a not a good start.
Yeah. So if we come in here, let's do a save first. Instead of letting this run for a long time, let's see how that looked. So, no.
Format, please.
Control K, Control F. All right, so those should have been all fine.
Is it the store that we're most concerned with here?
Then inventory. Right, because the miner.
So this is all the diggers.
Yeah, so now we have
Inventory items, yeah. Item ID 4 and item ID 1. That makes sense, no counts. But where are the chips?
what are 4 and 1? Game item.
Oh, that's no good.
How did those?
How did those?
And 1 was standard digger. Well, standard digger makes sense. 4 concerns me. I think 4 is supposed to be 3.
Yeah, that would make sense. But what happened?
I imagine it's a hard-coded value somewhere, which would be Jim's favorite. Where would we have put that? Probably in that miner store, right in here.
Like when you do the buy, like when you make the purchase.
Oh, but
Yeah.
see, hold on a second, but that.
Well, isn't inventory item different than store item?
Yeah, but see, it's game item.
Yeah.
I think there's some other place.
Maybe when we dig it, when we empty the hoppers and stuff, or we put it into the inventory from that direction. Because that's where the chips would have came from. Because it's the only other thing we did was dig.
Yeah. All right, I'm
So
gonna
that
start the game back up. I'm gonna load that file. No, we want to load first. Oh, very nice. Object reference that set to the instance of an object. Item for sale. We have 2. Restocking event. Did this just happen to fire early?
guess. Yeah. We just happened to hit that event right there.
No, it's because something else must have had this. It, it failed because this first or default is returning a null.
Right, now you're
Because
trying to dot count on it, right?
right, but why? Why did this work okay when we ran it, but not when we saved it? This is on a loaded file. Let's try this again. Let's see if we start a new one and see if this.
Did you put a breakpoint or something there?
No, but I just want to see. Maybe we should put a breakpoint on here.
All right, just to know that we hit it, because maybe that's why it did an error.
Okay, so might have been hard to see. Let me. So this digger here is named Digger. One of the things that we did differently is we actually named this Standard Digger.
Ew.
So part of that is that now we're talking about standard diggers. We're going to have different types of diggers, and we have this process that's happening. Do we make this process work differently? I mean, I can fix it so it just works right now, because this should be standard digger.
Right, and then it will come back with a value.
Yeah. It'll come back with a value. But what's interesting is the store, the factory, has the wrong name in here. So I think this actually needs to use the
ID.
use our new gateway for it.
To get the item out.
Yeah. Um, what the heck is going on
Whoa,
here?
hey. It's aggressive IntelliSense.
Yeah, well, it didn't have link, so it was trying to go. And this is a 1. So the question is, do we want to do this by that name, or do we want to, or by the ID, or by the name? I think it might be better to do it by the name.
Why is that? Why is
Because
that what you're thinking?
because the ID should be arbitrary, and we shouldn't be identifying stuff by ID in the game. That's what that's what that's kind of what I'm thinking. Um, realistically, this would probably be an ID because we'd have something in a data file that would be referencing it by the number. That's because the data files have relationships. Whereas this to me feels like it's gonna, like, if we have an ID of 1, we're not gonna know what this is that it's actually even doing without putting a comment in there.
I see what you're saying.
That's kind of why I was thinking about it. I mean, we could do an ID and just add a comment, right? So I could just go up here and just put add standard digger, just for the time being, right? Because add bolts. Add raw chips. Because this is not how we're going to do this forever. So we'll just do this to make life easier for us.
Sure.
Right, so I'll have that. We'll do that. So that should fix that.
Okay.
Ooh, we got something failing on us here.
Yeah, look at that.
Ah, you know, this is because the test is actually using this call to build the mine store.
Okay, so the test code really needs to be adjusted.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this comes down to this also comes down to that other question. Comes down to not the other question, but it comes down to this. What are we doing? What do we do for this factory? Right. So if we're looking at here, this is a singleton, right? So this, or actually, I think this is just a static object, right? So we got a static object with this gateway that it's getting from this potato chip game,
Hmm.
right? And so that's kind of what's I'm assuming what's causing this to fail in some case. So I I think the question becomes is, do we want to change the test to use this um, to use that source for this? So here's my other thought as I'm saying that this build mine store process that's happening here, I almost feel like this is going to go away soon.
Right. Yeah, because
Um,
we're going to kind of get past it.
yeah, we're no longer going to need this. Let's see if we can maybe we can
Let's
do
chop.
something about this, right? Because that's part of this here. So we've got this set name process. We got a proc. So here's where this is why the data gateway is failing. So we could pass in some default fakes for it, I think. So maybe since this is just doing not implemented, hmm, I was trying to avoid using mocking tools. So I'm trying to avoid that.
Okay.
But so that would mean that we need to actually create a,
So you got a ham roll, a mock.
yeah, in this case, we really just need it for the game items, right? Let's just do this mock. Right, because that's what it's looking for, I think, right? Oh, good, even better. So we're using a generic, so it's
Cool.
right. So then we should be able to just say implement that interface, and then this one here will just return new list game item. Yes, new game item ID equals 1, name equals standard digger, ID. Oh, that's good. Why did you not? Add another one. This is bolts. Come on, get in here. There we go. This is the raw chips.
So it's gonna spoof that for us, mock it up for us.
Yeah. So rewards repository is fine. So game item is the second one. So then we'll just do new mock. All right. So that. Oh, got some green.
Yeah, that's right, because it runs right away. Awesome, awesome, awesome.
Yeah. I have to tell you, I love NMOC. I still say that I like it better than the built-in one for Visual Studio, because Visual Studio does a thing that it's just disappointing to me. The way that you disable them or enable them is like done in such a way that is just disappointing. You know what we didn't test? We didn't test our emotes. We didn't test our emote explosion.
I just tried to do that and it didn't work.
Yeah,
It
I
is.
noticed it. So try it again.
I'm logged in as actually the channel, but let me see.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't ignore if it comes from the channel or not. There it goes. Well, I see
Let's
it.
see.
So cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
I realized that after I was looking at it, going, you know what? I think I may have started the bot after we had started the stream, so that's why I was like, all right. So with that being there now, that with everything here, we should be good. Oh my goodness, Pete. How many? You're like, we don't want anybody to see what we just did. That's good. That was pretty.
that's what we got to do when we're doing like passwords and stuff. Emote storm.
Oh my goodness, an emote storm. So this should now work if we open up a new one. Oh, ooh, how'd that happen?
What's it? It's just a no reference
Yeah,
for potato chip game.
yeah. Oh, isn't that interesting? So,
But what's happening
the
exactly?
the gateway is not getting passed into that state because this is the iPotato Chip game. So there's a this somewhere that gets passed into something. Where is it? So start game is after we have loaded up everything.
Uh,
So I think the question becomes is do we make the miner store factory just accept the gateway? And then we can do this, right? So we could actually just have this pass in the gateway.
oh,
Oh, let me stop this. So then this would be able to have that. So we can have it as a. Yeah,
Can't see it.
yeah, I can't see it, but it's because it's called a data gateway. There we go. And then we're going to say gateway, and we will declare it with a field initializer. We'll put that right there. Why do we not? I thought I changed this already, so it would default to underscore starts. All right, so now then we can just use that instead of this, right?
Okay.
This will, of course, immediately break our tests.
Right, because they're all going to be pass or not passing it.
Yeah. Yeah, so they should all fail. Yeah, okay, good. Shouldn't even build, and that's what I was kind of expecting. So now we could just do that. All right, so can I force it to run? Well, does this have like a last execution time? No. I was trying to see if there was a way that I can kind of force it a run. Set. Oh, check that out. What is this?
Yeah, what is
Hotspots.
that?
Look at this. It shows execution time. So it kind of gives you like some slow spots.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I like it.
That shows you where you have some overhead potential.
And it's lines. So it's actually
Like this call, essentially, because there's the text that's in it.
yeah, so like this here, this line 23. I like it.
It's all the link stuff, or a lot
Wow.
of it.
Yeah.
Some
I
of
mean,
it.
we also don't have a lot of stuff that's super slow, so
Yeah, I guess that 39 milliseconds or whatever. It's like, whoa.
yeah. Let's say yes. Oh no, that's not what we wanted to do. Shoot.
Yeah, you wanted to load one, right?
Yeah, because loading one was what was failing. So we'll try that first. And then no call first. Oh, something else broke. Sequence
Oh,
contains no matching elements.
game state minor.
Uh, so,
So what is
yeah.
going on here? Is it that two string? Like what?
No, it's the fact that there's no chips in the inventory because we didn't add chips. Are chips even in the data file?
Or maybe it's raw chips again? Did that get
No,
us?
it's 4. So it's number 4. Oh, do we have something that is 4? I think we have something called chips, which is different than raw chips,
Hmm.
right? Because this is for what the miner has.
So there's an inventory item
I think so.
called chips.
Uh, see if we just look for 4. How much do we find of those? I'm sure plenty. Ugh. Oh. All right. So this is another thing that we have that I guess just put as part of the.
So that just kind of came along, huh?
Hmm.
Because it just gives you an because you have to have a chips inventory item.
Which I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah,
There's nothing like inherently wrong with that. I think the part I'm concerned about is where this is called. Uh,
because it's in the minor.
yeah.
Yeah, it does seem a little weird, huh? Because you're going to want to get that, like, kind of, you're going to want to use, I guess, what, the gateway to get that item out. You don't want to
Hmm.
have to pass that into the minor necessarily.
Yeah. Well, we don't have to, but the are any of these called not inside the test? This one
That's a
here.
good question. So the one we're on, yeah, that makes
Hmm.
sense.
Wait a minute. What?
Nothing. Go ahead. I don't think I added. I said the one we were on was kind of
Yeah. So
the one that's not.
this is getting called from after they enter the name, it creates the default,
Right.
which isn't bad. Um, this is coming from here, so we need to get it in there. We need to have something here for it. All right, so let's do this. We got to at least upgrade this file here, right? So we're gonna have to. Um, can I just insert a row? Just me. Oh, there it was. Uh, how do I remove this one? Oh, that. Insert row above. All right, so we'll change this to 5, this to 6. So then we should be able to do chip. We don't need any of that stuff. So I should be able to say apply and save that. But now, because we actually have rewards that are dependent on that, right? So now these would need to be changed. 5 and 6. Achievements. Okay, those point to the rewards, which then the rewards point to the item. So
Okay, so that's good.
yeah. But we can't use the save file anymore because the save file has the wrong information in it. So now here we should be able to do the get it from the game items. We'll say that'll be a 4. Let's see if everything blows up.
That took a while to come through. Oh, on this side. Hello, microphone.
What do you mean?
You said everything blows up before I saw it, and then I saw it. So there's a
Oh,
little delay with your screen share. It's all. Huh.
so let's see. What is this proc? So that should be okay. Oh, you know what? It's because our mock doesn't have the 4 in there. That's why this is. what I do want to see is there any spot where we just have chips? I'm sure it's all over the place.
There, it's just a var though, right?
It's because of this here. So it's getting the name on based on that, right? Oh boy.
So if you just make that chip, will it be okay?
Yeah, yeah. I was just trying to see how many spots we did it, which wasn't as bad as I thought. So choose that to chip. I keep seeing chirp. All right, so why is
You're not
this?
turning green.
No, it is not. Could not find digger. Output should be. Could not find digger named. Seen digger name, but could not find chips in the inventory. Yeah,
Because it's
interesting.
named Chip.
What's that?
Is it because it's named Chip instead of Chips? No,
Uh,
that's the could not. That's the. Never mind. Never mind.
yeah, well, that's what this is. What should have brought that back. Um, but why did miner? Why did a miner not? Because this still looks like it should have had it, right? Because the
For the miner itself.
yeah, yeah. This seems like shouldn't this have had? Should have called in here. Boom. Should have gotten 4. So let's run that test. Look at that. One test queued with high priority.
ID4.
So that should
Is
have.
it?
So
Is
that
it
should.
because it's a cap? It can't be.
It might be.
Are we doing a direct like equals?
I think
I think.
so. I think
Ah,
that's because see we got it in there. It's there.
yeah, it's not missing, but it's a capital C.
Yep. And that's because in here we're doing it where it's equal instead of saying doing something like right. So we should be able to do that and then
That makes sense.
all right. So
Still not green.
it's because it's in the
Oh,
middle of
it's
running. See, now it's all green.
yeah.
Is everything
Yeah.
green? Looks like it's all green.
There it goes. It is for me now too. Some white, but no red.
We're not doing that test here. I think we should.
Hey,
Would help if I could type.
so that dot equals allows you to define how it does the comparison, how equally it is. For those of you watching,
Yeah.
that's
No, we're just trying to make it so that without it doesn't have to be a capital, right? That otherwise it's case sensitive by default. This is allowing us to ignore case. I have a feeling we're going to run into that in other places. Let's because it was being hard coded everywhere before. So there, it's being done with a string equals. Here's calling to the inventory, that's fine. This is not doing it with a string equals, so we should take a look at that one. Yeah, so let's take a look at this one here. So, I have to tell you, there's something about this that I like the string interpolation, but because of the way that this is done, I feel like there's a better way to format this. This is about to get really ugly, especially this one here. I think I'm going to introduce a local variable for this one.
just for ease of reading the string stuff.
Yeah.
String. Yeah, make it more readable.
Yeah, I think. Well, part of what I'm concerned about is this is about to get much longer when I add that string equals in here, and it's going to get even bigger. You know, we could actually, instead of doing this, we should just be able to do that. And so then this, I can eliminate this. So I can just inline that again. Ugh. No. Apparently, I should let them know that this is. I'm using, which one am I using? Code rushed. So it didn't handle that inline temp inside of a string interpolation. So that's why I did that weirdness. I was like, that's strange. Cool. So I think that was the only one. I think by using that inventory, I'm almost questioning what is this doing here? See, this is another one here where I think we can eliminate that. Right? So instead of duplicating this everywhere, we can just do this.
Yeah, because you can just get it right out.
Yeah. Man, then we don't actually have to break this apart because it's nice and small. Like, to me, that seems...
No, that's nice and clean.
Yeah, I think that saves a lot of that. And now we don't have to worry about, how do we deal with getting that type of stuff. I almost now am questioning how often we use this, the inventory item at all, right? Like, this has 14 references to it. This is all stuff we're going to have to address at some point. Because this buy command is directly modifying the list items. Because
Yeah.
right, see, it takes out the stack and then adds its stuff to it. I don't think that's what we should do. I think we should probably change that. And I think that's going to be smart for us to do. Maybe that'll be a next piece. Let's see if we got this working as is right now, because that's changing code that's not directly affecting the piece that we're trying to change.
Sure. But introduce extra chaos.
Yeah, exactly. Oop, got a breakpoint in. So go to the store. Let me buy my 5 diggers. Go to the control room. Oh, something we're gonna have to. Let's see. We'll equip. Whoop. What?
What?
Oh, because now we have
What
it
did we
named
do?
Standard Digger.
Oh.
Interesting.
So we need to change that. 'Cause you can't just buy, because that's that switch statement, right?
Well,
Maybe it doesn't need to be anymore.
I can do Standard Digger. Right? No, that's another breakpoint.
I feel like your screen share has stopped for me.
That is possible. Let me try stopping and restarting. So, can you see now?
Okay. Yeah.
But see, now it's saying I don't have any diggers because there's probably diggers is being used throughout the app.
Right. That equipped for sure, right? Whatever's in that equip code.
And we have it as diggers plural, I believe. No, maybe it was digger. Equip command.
Couple. There's the equip. So I mean that was it. So that's the problem. So can't you just do?
Well, I can change it. I can definitely change it. The question, or my thought is, now I'm gonna have to type in Standard Digger all the time. Oh, I'm gonna have to type that in every time. That's the part that I'm just like, does not feel great.
Shame you can't use the IDs instead.
I mean, this should resolve it, but it was just like I liked typing in my digger instead of
Yeah, because it's shorter.
yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to work on some of that part of the game too. Once we get like the features rolling, it's like all right, the gameplay kind of stinks. It's a lot of aggravations.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, I feel like we're getting to a point where it's time to add a UI to this.
Yeah, let's have buttons.
Let's have buttons. Let's.
I like the reporting via the console, but maybe the input should be sort of buttons,
Yeah.
or at least like pop open like menus, and then you can just type in a number, like that. You remember those old like type of menuing options that they had?
Wait a minute. Which ones?
So like if you got so it would give you like when you went into a certain feature, it'd be like 1, 2, or 3 to choose whatever.
Oh yeah,
So in that context, you just type 1, and it's the thing. It says 1 period or whatever. I don't know. We'd have to look at it. But we
yeah,
can do like buttons and clicking and stuff. We have monogame in here, so why not?
yeah. Well, I mean, I'm doing all that stuff and at the time doing all this stuff in Phaser, but I'm kind of like, it could be neat. Oh my goodness, Jim already.
Yeah, rich and soft, man.
I know. Look how many riches we got. We got 4 riches.
Yeah, going top of the leaderboard there.
Holy moly! Hey, we got large hoppers. So if I go into the store, we now have standard digger, large hopper.
Uh-huh.
All right. If I do an inventory, now we see chip, we see standard digger.
Right, right.
All right, all right.
So can we save? That's where we were at, right?
Yeah. Let's see. Let's empty John. We're gonna empty Allison. Empty Jim. Wow, got lots of chips real quick. All right, let's say second. So let's see if we can load it. Wow. Sorry, super game. No, let's open second. That was kind of interesting. While it was reporting out, I switched rooms, so it cleared it, and you saw it finish up at the top there.
Yeah, see it. So,
So it looks like we came in with everything that we had because we had 150 chips. Let's go to the
yeah.
store, make sure the store looks good. We have, oh, got the standard bit now because we reached our 100 chips. Let's just see. So selling the chip, sold all the chips. Now we have tokens. I guess let's try seeing if we can just let's buy 10 bolts. And then we can go to the control room. Okay, so I gotta empty
Empty
John,
everybody again.
empty Jim.
We should buy some hoppers.
Yeah, right.
Can't believe Kevin's missing hopper night.
No. He's asking about hoppers. Let's see. Let's try repairing. Oh, not impairing. Repairing. Sam. Repair Sam. Yeah, let's do that. We need to repair Allison. Let's say no. Let's see if we can find somebody else that repair them better, repair cheaper. That looks good. We'll say yes to that. Which one needs repair? Pete? Oh my goodness. Repair Pete.
Just
Oh yeah.
scrap Pete.
One bolt. Oh yeah. Not even a rich? Come on.
Yeah, well, when you got 4 riches, you're gonna waste bolts.
Yeah. Don't tell Rick. All right. Empty.
Pretty empty.
Oh my goodness. It's like it's hard to keep up with the ones that are rich, huh?
Yeah, well, that's why you need the bigger hoppers.
Yeah, shoot. So we got to get these hoppers here. So let's see.
There's definitely some game tuning needs to be done here.
Well, we weren't going to be able to get. Oh yeah, wow. Tuning is going to. So here's another piece of this, right? So we have all these digger stuff in there, and we don't have anything that's actually doing the tuning. That's the other part. It's like we should make those data files that's actually loading that stuff in. So that way we can go and change the data files for it to kind of tweak it a little bit without having to go in and adjust code and stuff like that. Like I think what we're doing is the right way. Like we're getting closer and closer to that. But that idea
you could almost build tooling in that sense if you wanted to.
Right? Right?
Yeah.
I mean that's the thing. And we're gonna get to that. Alright, so we sold the chips. We got bunch of that. So I can get, sure, I could get 3. All right, so I got 3 large hopper. So now I go to the control room. Let me look at what diggers we got here again. Which one? I always forget whether solid or firm or hard. Like, is hard the hardest, and firm like the middle, or is solid the hardest?
I forget, honestly. It was so long since we set it up.
No. All right, so oh my gosh, I gotta empty all of these. All right, so I feel like Sam needed repair first, so let's go with repairing or adding it to John. How do we put the how do we put the thing on it?
Was
Upgrade?
it upgrade? I think
Upgrade. We want to upgrade
so. Probably Jim, right? Is the
oh yeah,
quickest
yeah.
one.
Jim is definitely the one. Then we can say large hopper. So, so now it's got 100. So he started spinning up some more.
Right, it fired back up. That's cool.
Yeah, right.
So now if you did like the report, what's it say? I want to make sure it says the 100 now. The space should be. Is
Oh,
it
you
called
mean like
inspect?
the diggers?
Yeah,
Or
the
the
diggers.
this
Well,
one
either
here.
either one, but yeah, the diggers is fine. Yeah, so 77 of 100. All right. Then inspect.
Yeah, so now we should see hopper, large hopper, 67 to 100. Let's
Right.
save this. Yeah, let's overwrite that. Everything needs a repair now. So what? So we actually have enough to get the bit as well, right? So
Yeah.
let's try that. Well, I think Jim would probably be good for the bit as well. All right, so now I got a bunch more chips. So now we can go to the store. Let's sell the chip, and then let's buy. We'll just buy 2 standard. And I got 2 of those. So now we should be able to upgrade. No, not update. Upgrade.
You really wanted to update though.
I know. Now I feel like that's what I should be doing. Yeah, we're gonna upgrade gym, and we're gonna use the no standard bit, right?
Yeah. I think it was standard bit in the store. Yeah. Yeah, standard bit.
All right, so now got 0 durability. This is killing me. All right,
Need a repair.
maybe we should get rid of Pete. What was that?
Scrap.
Scrap. So I got 5 bolts. So let's see if we can do a repair on Jim. Let's try it again. There we go.
Had to find a desperate mechanic.
The
Wow,
chip,
78 in one go?
no, 22.
Oh, 22. 78 left. Right, okay.
Yeah. Saying 21. That's crazy. Oh my goodness. Let's try repairing Sam. I guess we need to go to the store. Let's sell chip. Oh, we don't have any. So let's buy 5 bolts. Let's buy 1 digger. buy one standard digger. Control room. Let's equip. We're gonna equip a new Pete. Normal, solid. Come on, Pete.
Mm.
We're expecting more from you.
I know, right? We get upgrades that way.
No. No. Oh, Jim's full.
Of 100, I know.
Wow.
What does the bit do for us? Is it durability or is it dig? How many dig?
It's amount of dig.
It's
Remember, it
stop.
improves your chances on how much you can dig.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I think like if I were to repair, let me repair Sam. So like we'll see like. So Sam was able to get a 23. See, Jim got a 37.
Yeah. Right.
So I don't think we'd ever be able to see Sam get to 37.
I feel like it was capped at 30.
It may have. It's 25, I think. For some reason, that sticks in my head.
Yeah. Jim only dug at 20 that time, but that's because it doesn't make it each time, right? We just affected like a factor.
Yeah. It's just a. So I wonder if we could actually do an upgrade again, but now we can do it on Sam. We're gonna do large hopper. I got that one doing that. So now we've got. Man.
Right. So now it's got room.
All right, so let's try. So now we've got a bunch of gameplay that's going in there. We got a bunch of things, right? So we got inventory. Just want to take a quick look so we can see this. We don't have any more standard diggers, but we got a bolt, large hopper, standard bit.
Right. So we got those all in our inventory. Awesome.
Yeah. If we go over to the store, we see we have all these items there. We have quantities of stuff available. All right, so. Let's try getting this running. We'll say new.
Oh wow, it's 8:24. We're almost done.
Yeah, it's kind of where we're just playing it, right? So this is actually proving out that everything we've done hasn't affected any of the gameplay that we've expected, right? So
right,
look,
like we still have a playable game at this point. That's cool.
Yep. And so that looks correct. What is going on with the diggers though? Oh, everything needs repairs. So either repairs.
Except for Jim, because Jim's on soft.
Yeah, but he's run out of space.
That's why nothing's happening.
Yeah.
Blam. 37 right out of the gate.
No. This is pretty cool.
I know, dude. Now you want to add like more stuff, right? So cool. We need bigger stuff. We need bigger hoppers. I remember we were talking about like adding different things too, so you could get like different like you could have like salt and different like things that come out of the dig.
We have to at some point, because otherwise, what else are we going to be doing? There's nothing else coming out of that dig.
That's gonna be cool.
I had this thought. Just kind of go real quick in the last 5 minutes, but I had this thought. It'd be interesting to make Potato Chip Miner a Pete's House of Code IP, so we can actually start making other games that are potato chip mining based, right? So we could do a platformer potato chip mine game. We could do you know what I mean? So it's like make it so it actually becomes like IP that you could do a whole bunch of different types of games with different stories based on this whole storyline.
Right, it's a good thing nobody watches us, or else they might go just like buy that up.
Oh, don't do it! Don't do it! But that, you know what I mean? Like I thought that would be like, that's kind of neat. So we can actually do.
Yeah. So it's like Spaceballs the movie. Spaceballs the lunchbox.
Exactly. Well, I mean, you think about it.
Potato Chip Miner, the platformer.
Exactly. Because
It's kind of the adventure game.
you
Could
could
be an
do
RPG.
yeah, you could do an RPG, you could do a strategy game. Actually, a strategy game would work great for this because this is basically what we're doing is a strategy game.
Yeah, right. Like, yeah, if you added like a military end of it,
Yeah,
that you gave yourself something to spend all these potato chips on.
yeah. Well, you gotta get the people off your land, you know.
That's funny. That's funny. I like it.
So I was like, oh, this would be great. So
Yeah,
I
well,
think,
maybe we'll do some more streaming, man. Maybe with less to do at night.
yeah, right. With being locked at home is not the worst thing if you get to do some cool stuff with it. Wow, we changed a
Yeah.
lot of files, man.
Yeah, well, the store's everywhere.
Yeah. Just trying to take a look here before we go. All right, cool. That's getting rid of that. Oh, let's clean these up. Can I just edit from in here? Oh, I want to delete that file altogether, actually.
Yeah, because we're done with all those. That one is
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah, oh, that's crazy. So, yeah, because this file's gone. This one's gone. Oh, you can actually tell which ones are gone because they don't have the little arrow next to them.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you press that, you get down to the class view. I feel like there's other spots that I have commented out code though. Definitely don't want to check in commented out code. Let's see that. Nope.
Oh, no,
This is
that's
mock.
new. That's new.
Yeah. That's fine. Maybe I removed them already. Because it was stuff related to it was stuff that was related to loading the state. But I think I ended up removing all of them. I think I removed them already. Oh, I did not.
There's one. That's all right, though.
Yeah, so I could just come in here and just get rid of these.
All of that.
This music that's playing right now has a bunch of like sounds that just sound like they're taken from video games. Alright.
I can't actually hear it.
Yeah. I know you can't hear it, but I was just mentioning it. Alright. I think that would be, I think we call that a go. Give us a couple of emotes there. Get it to go out on an emote bang.
One here. Let's go.
Oh my goodness. That is just like a splash of white. Oh man,
Yeah,
I can't wait to
see it.
I can't wait to see what that actually looks like. Oh, that's crazy.
There it goes.
Yep.
Oh my god. It's like somebody broke a pinata.
Broken pinata. It's just all over the place.
That is awesome. I'm so glad we did that.
I know, right? Can't wait to do some more.
And no, I was thinking, I have some thoughts about that. We'll talk about it before the next thing. I'll talk to you tomorrow about it or something.
All right, that sounds good.
All right.
All right, everyone. Have a wonderful night. Stay
night,
healthy. Stay safe.